that was one of the things I wanted: low admin, but also high scalability and high profit potential. It seems obvious, but if you're going out there fishing for customers as marketers, as entrepreneurs, we're fishing for customers, then choose your bait wisely.
So I want to talk about a little bit why we think high-ticket dropshipping and e-commerce is such a big opportunity. What are the current and the future trends that you see that make it such a brilliant opportunity right now?
Well, with more consumers shopping online every single day, as that confidence in... I remember back in the day when the internet first was a thing, people were petrified of putting their credit card details. You wouldn't dream of putting your card details in online. Now, I probably buy 5 or 6 things on Amazon every day, in our household. So I think it's just, we've become so used to it that if you can become not just a consumer of e-commerce, but actually a business owner who benefits from it by running an e-commerce business, you're onto a winner, right? Because you're riding that trend, that wave, as the industry shifts over to e-commerce. And high ticket items are also becoming the norm. It's like the evolution of the retail sector, but it's happening in the digital world. Think of things like luxury home furniture or office furniture like we talked about, or home gym equipment, or the barbecues we talked about. All of these things that people are just now more comfortable buying online and parting with money without seeing the product always. But remember, that's just consumers. The items I've talked about there is just consumers. Imagine if you're selling to the world of business customers as well. They often won't just buy a single product. They might buy 50 of the same product. So you can just as easily sell to businesses as well and run this as a B2B type model. You see plenty of our members in Dropship Unlocked to do that. And you might make fewer sales overall, but when you do, there'll be much, much bigger sales usually. And so they might buy 50 or 100 items of units of a single item. Also, the digital marketing channels that enable us to run traffic and get customers and footfall to our businesses now are just becoming more and more automated and effective as well. So back in the day, we used to have to do so much fiddly technical work to get it to work. But now you really don't need to have any marketing experience at all to drive consistent sales for your business. When we first started, I remember having to create these upside down Google shopping funnels and have complex lists of negative keywords that would funnel customers who were searching for certain products into one campaign and then have a priority stacked system. And we did it, and that's the way that I taught it for the first couple of years. But now it's incredible. The results that you can get from just leaning into the machine learning and the AI and the algorithm on these ad platforms is incredible. And so if you can harness that for your marketing, why would you not do it? And for more on exactly how to do that, you can check out episode 23 of the Dropship Unlocked podcast, which is titled Mastering Google Ads for Your E-commerce Store. So maybe line up episode 23 after you've listened to this one.
Would hugely recommend it, because Google Ads is the primary way that will make sales, especially when you first get started, to bring revenue into your business. But I think that the automated marketing that is becoming more and more prevalent now with Google, and making sure that they have a lot of the control and do a lot of the machine learning to get you the best results, should put a smile on the face of anyone thinking about getting into e-commerce and building a dropshipping business. Because it means that we don't need to have a degree in marketing anymore to be able to run campaigns and drive sales for our business. We just need to know the exact steps to set up these types of campaigns. And now we see that those campaigns perform better than the ones that we used to have to set up manually. And so it's a great opportunity. And I think that's a big point as to why this year specifically, for anyone that's a beginner with business or e-commerce or dropshipping, I think that's a real reason to get started now due to the types of marketing campaigns that we set up. This year, last year, and I'm sure into the future, we're hearing a lot about the rise of AI. So that's all we're talking about, ChatGPT and all the different ways that AI can now help our business to scale. How do you think this will impact the dropshipping landscape?
Yeah, there are some incredible AI tools that are being released and updated constantly. It's like every single week there seems to be a new industry shattering update coming out of the world of AI. So it's a tough one to even keep up with. But some AI tools can significantly streamline the setup and operation of a dropshipping business. So again, it's something we can harness and not fear as entrepreneurs, but just embrace. Whether that's for analytics or marketing of our businesses, we talked about Google Ads and Facebook ads, whether that's customer service as well, and just having an automated human-like chatbot that has all of the catalog product knowledge of every single SKU product on your website and never sleeps and works every day of the year and can talk to 10,000 customers all at one time. That's pretty incredible, right? And if we can set that up, which we can now with AI tools, then it just allows us to set things up quickly and more efficiently, but it also just improves daily operations and means we can spend our time as business owners working on the things that grow the business. So we're not there as entrepreneurs working in the business anymore, tinkering around and dealing with customer support tickets and things like that. That can all now be done pretty much by AI with very little human involvement. And so, yeah, it's incredible. And in this model, AI can be used in so many different ways, helping us come up with different content ideas. If we're thinking about we want to improve our product descriptions, perhaps we can use AI to help us reformat and rewrite those product descriptions, or come up with blog post ideas. You've got to be careful. You don't just want to be pumping out AI generated content into the ecosystem, because they probably will be able to detect that. And I'm sure there'll be some level of penalty for that in the future, but you can certainly harness it and use it for inspiration and structure and guidance, and then just add your spin to it. The way I think about AI is quite interesting. I was at the gym this morning, and they've got this thing there called the e-gym. I don't know if you're familiar with it, where like it takes your measurements and it takes your height and weight and age and everything. And then you sit on the machine and there's no like settings. It all just auto adapts to you. It's got like a camera, and then the timer starts and it knows who you are. It knows your max strength, your training weight. And then you just follow the reps, and then you move on to the next one. And you like do a full body workout circuit. And it's like this computer robot personal trainer that adjusts your maximum weight and your training weight, and eventually kind of pushes you to optimize your body over time. And so it kind of acts as like the guardrails. It gamifies the process. It makes it fun. It means I don't have to think as much about the settings and the weight, and I can just focus on the main thing, which is doing the weights, right? And so that's the way I think about AI when it comes to this type of business. It's there to optimize and improve our businesses, like it is our health and e-gym, but it's us that have to do the work. We've still got to use it. We've got to put in the work to make it the output will be dictated by the input. So whilst it is a great tool and it's there, we can't just kind of rely on it and say, oh yeah, I'll use AI to just make the whole business. I've not seen that successfully work at this stage, but it can certainly be used to improve things like the customer journey in dropshipping. So we've got AI-driven chatbots that are providing instant customer support, as I mentioned, or personalized product recommendations even. And even like optimizing the website experience on a user-by-user basis. So yeah, it can make a real seamless and satisfying shopping experience for customers. And I think we're really just seeing the beginning of it.
Yeah, we're fortunate to be in the business at this time while artificial intelligence is growing as it is. It's only going to get lower cost. The tools are only going to get better and more intuitive for us to use. So if we can capitalize on getting into this trend now, we can have businesses that run with even less maintenance and generate more profit in the future, is how I see things going. We're talking about more profit. I want to dive into the financial side of high ticket dropshipping. So why do you think it's such a big opportunity in terms of making money?
Yeah, well, selling high ticket items just means larger profits per order. So it's like we talked earlier about the sunglasses. If you're going to be selling sunglasses for say £15 on your Shopify site, maybe you make £10 profit if you do really well. Like if you manage to get a great margin. Imagine that versus selling £1,000 stand-up desk and making £300 profit. £15 profit versus £300 profit. You need to sell a lot more sunglasses to make up the same amount, but it's also the admin that goes with it. It's also all of the refund requests and the returns and all of the issues. Like you can't return the products to China, so you have to take them back. What if they're faulty? Like with one desk, if there's a problem with it, you just send it back to the supplier and they just change it because it was faulty. As a lifestyle business, remember the criteria I talked about at the beginning? That was one of the things I wanted: low admin, but also high scalability and high profit potential. It seems obvious, but if you're going out there fishing for customers as marketers, as entrepreneurs, we're fishing for customers, then choose your bait wisely when you're fishing. If you want to catch bigger fish, then you need the right bait to catch them, right? So higher prices for more premium products mean that you'll result in a lot more profit, but often, and this is the bit people don't sometimes talk about, it's actually a much easier buying experience as well, because the types of customers that are willing to spend money on those types of luxurious items, or certainly like higher end items, just are less problematic. They don't cause us as much customer service admin. They don't have requests for refunds and complaints and things like that. It's just usually a fairly seamless process. And obviously you can provide like a VIP level of experience as well for them, because as we said before, if you only have one sale every 4 days, well, even if I don't have a virtual assistant yet, I can just answer the phone myself and just give them a call and be like, hey, just checking, did you receive your stand-up desk? Okay, perfect. All right, well, I'm the company owner, so I'd give you a call. You can't do that if you're selling 10,000 sunglasses a month, right? So it just makes it much easier. And eventually you can have your virtual assistant do that and really put a personal touch on the business without you having to do that work. The other thing is the return on investment can be huge. So you asked about the financial upsides of this. Once you're up and running, after the minimal outlay that it takes to get started, remember, you keep all that profit because it's your business. So rather than having really high overhead costs or having, to go and lease a warehouse space or hire lots of staff when you first get started or lease cars or vehicles or offices or, big machinery, you don't really have any of that stuff. You have maybe some ad cost, a couple of £100 maybe in ads and like some software bits and pieces here and there, but it's very low overhead. And so I think it's just that cost effectiveness. It's that, unlike traditional retail and that traditional commerce, dropshipping just requires less capital because you're not stocking items. You don't have to go and buy 100 items up front. Instead, we're just connecting buyers with products, so we don't have to take on any debt. And so that really takes the pressure off us when we're building a business. But the important thing is we are actually still building a business. We're building a brand and an asset. We're not just a kind of a faceless middleman. By doing this, we're building a customer list, building an email list, getting repeat buyers. And we're just, it's like John Lewis. They stock Samsung TVs, LG TVs, Panasonic TVs, but they themselves are still a brand, John Lewis, right? Just because they are not the brand name on the TV. They're using those brands. They're leveraging those brands to get footfall into their store. And then they are the brand themselves, right? So that's all we're doing, but just in a digital format.